Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the F3 game here for our Women's National Championships, the Australian Curling National Championships. My name's Matthew. I'm here from the Queensland Curling Association and Team Gojnik on the men's team. And we're joined here by Grace McIntosh Phillips. Congratulations, Grace, on your bronze medal.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Yeah, it was a really hard slog throughout the women's competition, but I'm glad that we were able to come away with the bronze medal at the end of the day.
And so for those who are joining us, welcome. Thanks for joining us so early in the morning wherever you are, or somewhat could be a little bit later, whether you're over the other side of the globe. We always appreciate everyone joining us today. So what we've got is our third of our championship games with Team Williams versus Team Curl Jam. Yesterday, it was very exciting results. We had Team Williams take the first game, and then Team Curl Jam with a very clutch shot from Aggie, the fourth player, was able to square it up to one game each. So that's why we're here this morning to see our game. So Team Williams won the hammer in the first end, so had some great LSDs. That was right.
Yeah, very close to the button. So yeah, they'll start the game with hammer this morning.
And so we've just had Fiona Foley throw her first shot of the game. Just a very high guard, and then Kristen's about to slide out for Team Williams with hers. So I'm sure these first ends are just all about trying to get the nerves out. It's obviously it's a high stakes game today because the team who wins will become the Australian national champion. They'll have the rights to represent Australia not only at the Pan-Continental Curling Championships a little later on in this year, which has a pathway to Worlds if they're able to achieve a particular placing or above it at PCCCs, but they also have the ability to represent Australia at the pre-Olympic qualifying event in October, and should they be successful at that, then go on to the Olympic qualifying event. And once again, if successful, will earn one of very few spots that will be at the Olympic Games in Milano Cortina in 2026. So, very high stakes game, a lot to play for today, but hopefully we're in for a great curling match.
Just as Fiona delivers her second stone, just coming in behind the guard that she first threw. Not directly behind, so still potentially can come behind it or knock it out, but as Kristen goes for her second shot. Maybe a hit by the weight and line, or she's never coming behind the guard that she just did as well.
So all those guards are still in the free guard zone for the moment, so can't be knocked out of play. And of course, we play the no tick rule here as well. So if there is a stone sitting on the centre line, can't be ticked off the centre line until the free guard zone has finished. So the crowd's building here up at the Maniatoto Adventure Park. Up in the spectators booth, we've got laptops out, phones out. People are watching streams. People are trying to keep tabs of what's happening.
We've got cups of tea. We've got muffins.
Lots of snacks, absolutely. So everyone's here. So thanks to everyone who's joining us online and also who have joined us here in the spectators booth.
So Anne Powell will line up for her first shot. She slides out. Just behind the second guard.
So sweepers are on. Sweepers are furiously sweeping, trying to get it over the help line.
Getting all their cardio in today. Around the second guard.
It's just a little short, but sitting on the centre line.
Just builds up that wall a little bit more. Hopefully they can get another one behind to help guard it up.
So Team Williams playing the wings, with Team Powell looking to play the centre. No, Team Williams has changed strategy, trying to peel the top guard. It's very, very close to the hog line. And so this is Karen Titheridge's shot.
Wilson sweeping hard. Ooh.
And it
Yes, it
just hits
does.
their own red in the back of the house.
Lovely shot.
The shooter rolled into a high top guard, high corner guard.
Unfortunately, took one of those out as well.
So no stones in the house at the moment, but still plenty of stones left to play.
So Anne will probably try again. I think she was maybe given just a little bit more ice for her second shot.
Looks like it's just trying to draw around those top guards. Coming in now, but Helen Williams is going to start sweeping. Just sweeps it to, looks like it's just the back of the back 8, almost fighting the that 8-foot ring. Thanks to everyone who's joining us from wherever you are. So thanks Tony and Sarah, the comments on YouTube. So go Team Williams from Canada, love from Tony and Sarah. So thanks for your love and support for all of our teams that are here. We're here on Sheet B, a little bit different to what we've been all week. We've been commentating from Sheet C, but thanks to our wonderful volunteer event staff here, so Brad, Scott, for resetting all of the camera angles so that we can try and get you the best broadcast that we can from Sheet B.
This is Karen with her second shot. Yeah, just to try and do a double hit. Unfortunately, can only get one of the stones, but just clears it up a little bit in the front of the house.
So yellow's still the only stone in the house at the moment, so that's Team Curl Jan. Team Williams started with hammer, so they'll have the last stone of this end.
As Jen Westhagen sets up for her first shot. Looking at the man of ice, I think probably same strategy again, just try and draw behind.
Try and sit behind that guard if possible.
Jen indicates I think she might have identified that she's a little bit wide with her gesture.
Sweepers aren't sweeping yet, so there's plenty of weight there. And now they've jumped on. Sweeping furiously, trying to get it over into the house. Just in the top of the 8-foot, but it is exposed.
Yeah, trying to go again for that double hit.
So now over to Sarah Westman for her shot for Team Williams. Helen Williams trying to indicate the takeout, hoping for a double if possible. The yellow and just glances past that back yellow.
So a whisker in it.
Just a whisker in it, absolutely. So yellow is still sitting shot at the moment at the back of the house, but red's in a great position there as well. Anne Powell's seen enough of that red stone. She wants it out as well.
As Jen Westhagen sets up for her second shot.
Aggie from Curl Jam sweeping furiously. She was on as soon as it was released. Wow. So what's happened is the stones either overcurled or just a fraction narrow, ticked off the front guard, but then ricocheted into that red that was in the house and pushed that out the back. And then the shooters rolled over to the side just outside the house by the looks of it. Obviously, we've got our wonderful umpires, so Sandy Gagnon, chief umpire, is out there. If we need any measures or to check if that stone is biting at the end of the end.
Sitting out there in her thermal socks and thermal jacket and...
Most likely her heated blanket too, trying to keep as warm as possible. Sarah Westman here with her second shot, just drawing in. Both sweepers sweeping quite hard. Now sitting shot rock just on the centre line. Around about 6 feet out from the button.
Still a little bit exposed, it's only a little bit out.
Certainly visible. About half a stone visible from our angle here. So Aggie, who is the fourth, the player throwing fourth stones here for Team Curl Jam. So skip stones, but Aggie's throwing fourth, so Anne Powell the skip.
Gonna try the other direction, other side. Sweepers are on it immediately.
Don't know if you can hear it through your speakers, but we can certainly hear the shouting from up here, so plenty of communication there.
Yeah, we go.
Got past that yellow guard.
Oh, what a beautiful shot.
And ends in the back four. Well done, Aggie. That's a great shot.
Amazing shot.
Round of
Thunderous
applause.
Yes.
So Team Williams with their obviously with hammer in the send. So Helen Williams comes down for her first of her two shots. Last shot of Helen's will be the hammer.
And ideally in this scenario, you just want to try and limit the number of stones that the opposition scores. So hopefully they either can steal one or limit it to just one stone.
So plenty of ice for Helen Williams, looking to potentially draw and sit on that yellow. That sitting shot at the moment.
Yeah, definitely the shot to go, because at least you've got backing to stop your stone as well and something to sit on.
It's a little wide. It's just crawled past that top corner guard.
Ooh.
That was the red corner guard. Coming in and just at the top of the 12-foot now at the moment. So blocking a potential draw path just makes the port a little narrower.
But
it's still possible.
It's still possible.
But I guess early on in the game, we're unsure of what the ice conditions are like. Obviously, the players have had their 9-minute practice in their last stone draws. Looks like Anne's just calling for a guard to guard that red that Helen just threw to prevent the raise.
Well, again, I feel like this would be probably best case scenario for Curl Jam, is just even being able to steal one. Right, so Aggie goes for the last shot. Sweepers on it immediately.
Just to curl around.
Yeah, that's a call.
So Aggie's thrown a guard, just guarding that red that's in the house.
So they just don't tick off it or try and hit it in?
Potentially. The Port's still are there on that side, but Sarah Westman immediately going for the to our commentator's right-hand side of the house. Obviously, Sarah's left side.
So, and she gave herself just a little bit less ice. Probably the best scenario. So again, yeah. Just trying to draw in and try and sit on that yellow.
So this is the last stone of the first end of our Women's National Championships. Game 3. It was at the end of yesterday. We were one game each, so this is the deciding game.
What better way to end a nationals than to have the deciding game, right?
Absolutely.
As Helen goes for her last shot. And sweepers are on immediately. Just trying to bring it on.
They're off, but staying with it. Just trying to draw the stone in.
What a beautiful shot.
Great shot from Helen Williams.
Great shot from Helen Williams, yep.
Sitting on that fern. So it looks like it's a score of 1, a force of 1 to Team Williams. So Hammer will flip to Curl Jam. Thanks all for your comments, and thanks Lauren as well for your comments. So Lauren here, she's got former teammates on both teams, so good curling to all. So looks like Helen's going for both teams, which is I think everyone up in the commentary box and the spectator lounge are also, you know, they're just here for some great curling today. So we're wishing both teams all the very, very best and good curling as well throughout their final today.
Yeah, if you're watching YouTube today, wherever you're streaming from, putting into the chat which team you're going for. Business up top delivers her first shot, and sweepers on that immediately. We're going to get a Seneca.
Just coming over the hog line now. Quite a deep stone, just biting the top of the four.
And then immediately ends on that to try and get out. Or
Like as we said before, she's seen enough of it. It's been there for 10 seconds. She's seen enough. Let's get rid of it.
Out.
She wants it out.
First stone. Hit weight, sweepers on that straight away, looking for a nice line. Might just be, ooh.
Does impact the stone, but doesn't take it out. Yellow shooter goes through, but that red stone just rolls into to around about 6 feet out from the button. So it's still there.
I think goes for the second shot. Ending up just fighting the
Top four, yeah.
top four.
So for those who didn't join us last night, we had the second of our men's games as well last night. So that ended in Team Johns taking up the Australian Men's Championships. So following our game today, we'll also then have our medal presentations for our women's competition, both including first, second and third. So they'll receive their medals, as well as the Spirit of Curling Award. So so we're very excited to see who will take that Spirit of Curling Award for the women's. Andrew Swain from Team Kildy was able to take, was awarded the Spirit of Curling Award last night in the men's discipline. Lots of very fair curling from... Well, how did you find the curling, Grace? Because obviously you played all the teams in the round robin. How did you find the women in terms of spirit of curling and their attitude to the sport?
Yeah, it was very strong games. I think I was talking to my team about it, and I think every game that we played just had a really lovely balance of everyone was just out there to have a bit of a laugh and have some fun, but also be competitive as well. And I think that's a great mix, especially in curling. You want to go and, you know, perform well, but also have a good time while doing it. And so yeah, and it's always lovely, obviously, to first team Gallagher and get our stickers before the game and find out are you sticking on a water bottle or on the side of your computer, and it's just a nice little memento that we look forward to as well when we play them.
And that is something that Team Gallagher has done for a number of years now. So a great little tradition that Team Gallagher started. And thanks for joining us, Megan Edwards. So Megan's joining us from Hamilton, Ontario in Canada, watching this while having dinner. So we've just had our breakfasts and you're just having dinner. So thanks for joining us. I know that you've been joining in and watching quite a lot of our games. So great to see you. Join us again for our third game here in our championship series for the Australian Women's National Curling Championships.
This is Anne sets up for her first shot. Yes. Trying to take out those two reds that are just sitting. Switching for line, the sweeper's on it immediately just to hold that line. Hopefully hit it on the nose. Yeah, a very nice shot.
So small little roll, pushes out to the back of those reds and the top red that was sitting on it. Just rolled into the top of the four, but it is exposed now. Red's still sitting two at this point, with that yellow shooter just sitting in the blue paint, just on the 8 foot. But again, Helen's not wanting it there. She wants it gone.
No. Essentially, yeah, the yellow stone with their red stone.
So on your stream, you'll notice that we've now got those overheads there. They are a side-on angle, so our overhead cameras are a fixed camera on sheet C, whereas our cameras that go up and down the sheets are movable. So thanks to Brad Scott for pointing those towards our sheet B. So it will look a little different to some of our other games, but certainly gives you an indication of where all those stones are placed at both the home end and the away end. And a big hello as well to Bridget Jensen as well. So Bridget's watching from Minneapolis in Minnesota. Jen Westhagen's former teammate. So great to see you on the stream today on our Facebook stream. And no doubt you'll be cheering for Team Curl Jam, given your history with Jen. So great to see you.
And was her second shot. Just one of the reds. Trying to do a little tick and roll situation. Lovely shot. Ooh, that's a close one.
So Ann Powerstone hits both reds that were in the 8 feet. Roll one of them out, and it looks like it is out. So hit the sideboards. The second one's just rolled into the over the other side of the house, protected by that high red stone.
In strategy here, yeah, one of the phrases I use is, I think, just trying to put stones in the house. It just makes it a little bit harder for Curl Jam to come in and play many stones or go for a draw or something like that. So they're just trying to put as much junk in the house as possible.
Yep. And of course, every stone in the house at the moment, because there's no yellow there, is going to score. So pressure is on Team Curl Jam to try and deal with these stones. Ideally wanting to score 2 or more with hammer.
Yeah, I don't mind a corner freeze on that one.
Could potentially be a little tick and roll on that left hand red as well, to then go on the right hand red. Or they're going to do a...
All right.
Just a hit.
Normal's fine. Or whatever you want. Okay.
So Anne's called for controlled weight. As Jen sets up for her first shot, I believe.
Jen's indicating it's a little wide, but plenty of power on there.
Sweeper's only being called off.
Just trying to curl. So noses the top red.
Ooh.
Back red goes out. But the first stone that the yellow hit has just rolled into the back of the forefoot. Team Williams now in control of the house, and thanks for joining us, Lindsay, as well. Go Team Williams is the comment on the Facebook Live. So great to see you joining us, Lindsay, and great to see your support for Team Williams.
I think Helen's just going to be setting up a stone just in front of those two reds, so Curl Jam can't do something similar for their next shot and try and shoot to their left. Just trying to guard up that. I think might have been just a little bit too heavy for what Helen wanted.
So Sarah Westman's
Yeah.
shot. Sitting in the top, sitting around about just in the white paint there.
So Anne's indicated just to try and hit off that front red and then tick behind their yellow in front of the house.
So wanting to hit and roll, but also needing to try and move some of those red stones so they can try and score in this second end. Right off the hammer.
Shot. Sweeper going immediately. Try and keep the line. Unfortunately won't get the tick and roll, but she does remove two.
That's right. So two red stones are gone. Yellow just rolls towards our left-hand side. So we're sitting behind the house. So rolls to the left.
I think Helen probably going to go for that shot again, just trying to do a tick and roll behind front yellow guard.
So high stakes game, as we mentioned earlier. This is the third of our best of three championship games.
Karen furiously sweeping to try and get it up. To do the roll.
So he hits the yellow out and then rolls behind that yellow.
Beautiful shot, Helen.
Yeah, great shot. Still a little exposed. There's a little bit peeping out, but certainly has split the house. Two stones in the forefoot, or touching the forefoot.
As Anne, I think, indicates to try and freeze. Yeah, just to try and freeze on their red on the right-hand side of the screen.
And just as Aggie's about to sit in the house, thanks for your comments, Kim. Loving the coverage. Obviously, you know, we've got Matthew and Grace here, so Matthew from Team Gojnik in the men's and Grace from Team Halushak. But we'll be partnering up together for mixed doubles.
Yeah, with power commentary couple.
That's right.
We need awards for the best commentary, I think.
Vote for us, please. Jump on the chat. Vote for Matt and Grace.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a great shot there by Aggie. So she's come on in and just nudged that red out to then sit shot rock at the moment. So yellow with hammer, curl jam with hammer.
Just a little bit of some strap chats at the moment. As Helen prepares to go back down and deliver the last stone.
So this is Helen Williams' last stone at the end. Still one more to come from Aggie with Team Curl Jam with the hammer.
So it has been called off. Furious hand waving.
So Helen removes the yellow from the house. Her shot rolls out, hits the sideboard, so it's out of play. Red currently sitting 2 with Aggie with the last stone. And looking like she's just calling for the draw.
Yep.
Expert commentator beside us, Nathan Francie. He says that the double's there, but I think they're just going to go for the draw for the moment.
I mean, with the shot that Aggie pulled yesterday, I mean...
It would certainly be one for the YouTube highlights reel.
Yeah, it's just her at the moment.
I think early in the game, though, play it safe. Trade blows for ones and then reset for the third end.
So the last stone's just coming in. And it's called, yep. Trying to get it in. And, oh, beautiful. Perfect shot.
Great shot there from Aggie, covering the pin. If that was an LSD, that would be a double measure with the laser. So cool, calm, and collected from Team Curl Jam. Curl Jam. There we go. Cool, calm, and collected for Curl Jam with the one there with their hammer. So that'll take it to 1-1 going into the third end. Both teams taking their 1 minute break. Have a bit of strat chat, as you called it, Grace.
Yep. Bit of some strat chats. We'll do have a little bit of feedback between each other, see what the game plan is next, and then just pump each other up for the next end.
Stick to the game plan at this stage, I'd say, given it's 1-1. Looks like the nerves are out. Looks like we've got some great quality curling for the rest of the morning.
As Fiona sets up for her first shot. Sweepers are on the stone immediately. Set up a guard. Just heading a little bit out.
Might not make it over the hog line. I think that's why the sweepers have come off, saving their energy.
Might not make it, no, unfortunately not. So that stone will now be out of play.
So Kristen from Team Williams with her first. Just sitting in the hack now, ready to slide.
Looking for probably a guard.
So it's in the house now, and Powell's going to try and sweep it as far as she can take it. Just at the back, about 6 feet out.
And indicates for a centre guard. Fiona goes for a second shot.
This one looking like it will make it over the hog line.
Make it over the hog line. It might just be a little... Oh, no. Aggie furiously sweeping, yeah.
Not sweeping for curl.
Trying to get it on that centre line.
Lovely centre line shot there. Well done.
Beautiful shot. Looked a little bit heavy and then it just kind of slowed down a little bit, which is good.
Helen looking to potentially split the house. She does have hammer in this end.
Didn't go the way that we thought.
No.
No.
So it's coming in, looking to protect that red that's just in the back of the house. So corner guard on the other side. Jen holding the broom for Anne. Looking like potentially just a draw in. Draw in behind that centre yellow guard.
That's Anne delivering for the first shot. Sweepers haven't been called on yet. It's coming in a little bit. Probably didn't curl as much as what they wanted it to, but they still get it sitting on the full, biting the 4 foot, and it's shot at the moment.
Yeah, looking shot rock at this angle. Helen again, seen enough of it. Wants it gone.
She wants it gone. Karen Dithridge sets up for her first shot.
Sweeper's just staying with it.
Just wants to go a little bit more.
Yeah. Sarah Westman just sweeping now to keep the line.
Beautiful shot.
A nice roll. Still about half covered by that yellow guard.
Looking for the double, actually. I think you probably could get it on the right angle.
Certainly there.
Probably what they're looking to go for, given the amount of ice that Jen is going to be given in.
Almost all the seats are filled up here, up in the viewing lounge. Up, there's just been one vacated. So if you don't have a seat yet, some of our four-legged friends have taken up some of the seats.
They're the best mascots.
They are the best mascots, absolutely.
The most popular mammal here. As Anne delivers a shot, looking, sleepers aren't sweeping.
So taps the red that was shot rock. Jen swept it. Looks like it's just biting the back of the house there.
Helen looking for a tick and roll. So ticking off the yellow that Anne just threw and just rolling behind.
Karen Titheridge with another strong shot here. Trying to remove that yellow. Takes out the yellow, rolls behind that guard. Great shot. So just biting that 4 foot sitting shot rock. Red potentially 3 at the moment with hammer.
Yeah, is that top one biting?
Yeah, that's what the crowd thinks, but obviously we've got all the measuring devices required if we need to check if the skips can't agree if it is or isn't in the house.
Sandy be able to get up and walk around for a bit and get a bit warm.
Get the blood pumping. And indicating it looks like she might want to peel her guard. Expose that red stone behind it.
Well, at this point now, you've got to start trying to clear the reds out because you'll start to run out of stones. Think of the angles there if you hit the front yellow. Potentially get a couple of them out. The back of the house. Jen indicated she just needs a little bit more.
It's curling on. Snows the yellow guard. Ticks the red that was sitting shot. And Helen Williams is sweeping but doesn't quite get that yellow stone out of the house.
So sitting 1 at the moment.
The shooter stayed behind though, so still keeps that guard. But removed that problem shot rock there for Curl Jam. Sarah Boisman with a really quick slide. Just looking to draw back in again.
Just to try and hide behind that front toe.
Stick to the strategy. Stick to the game plan. And it's just
Good sweeping.
it is in the house, but that yellow that Jen's threw before, just a little closer to the centre.
So they are still only sitting at 1 at the moment.
Still plenty of stones left in the end though.
Looking like Anne wants to try the other side. Try and draw in between those 2 stones. So Jen with her second stone. Just trying to go for a draw in what I like to actually call the porthole.
Coming between those guards.
Furiously sweeping.
Is there enough weight to bring it in though?
Unfortunately not. Just to not to get it into the house, unfortunately.
It was a little light, but it also does narrow that port down to stop the draw from that angle. Helen Williams indicating let's go the other side though.
Well, they've seen some pretty lovely draw weights from that side, so Sarah goes for her second shot, and
Nice draw there from Sarah Westman. Great sweeping from the team.
So Anna's indicated she wants to try and sit on the red. So just a little bit less ice than the previous shots. Aggie goes for her first shot. Pulls the sweepers off.
It's got the curl.
Got a curl. Might.
Hung a little wide.
Yeah, just a little bit wide on that one.
He's coming through. Just going to slide past that.
Another little whisker.
Slide past that shot rock.
But it is still in play.
It is
Just
still
at
in
the back
play.
of the house.
Sit in the back of the house. Great to see everyone who has joined us both on our Facebook stream and our YouTube live stream as well. Some of the names that are popping up for people who are watching are medalists, either in the men's or the women's discipline already. So could be bronze medalists in our women's discipline and some of the other medalists in our men's category from yesterday. So great to see you all watching as we're here in the third of our best of three games for the Women's Australian National Curling Championships. Team Curl Jam versus Team Williams. Team Williams with Hammer in this end, but currently the scores are 1-1 after 2.
So Helen going for her first shot at the end. It's looking like a draw again. Kristen sweeping in there furiously, and then Karen gets on the stone as well. Forrest just trying to bring it in. I think might have pulled up just a little bit too short for what they wanted, I think.
Our expert commentators here sitting beside us in the commentary booth saying that there is a triple there.
Or as we aptly like to call it, the smashy smashy.
The smashy smashy.
The smashy smashy.
Absolutely.
And is any more fitting than on Ann Powell's team?
Obviously, it is a high stakes game, so there's a lot of strategy, a lot of chat going on at the moment to make sure that everyone's got the right angles, the right strategy, everyone knows what's going on.
Jen just coming down and just sweeping the ice, getting ready. Alright, so they are looking... They're going to try and go for the triple.
Yeah. So this is Aggie's last stone for Curl Jam in this end.
Well, at this point now, you've just got to try and take as many stones out, try and minimise the damage, right?
Absolutely. The port's a little too small to try and draw in. Aggie comes out at blistering pace.
And the sweepers are on it.
We're going to have to watch the overhead camera because they're blocking our shot. Comes in, just takes that one. So it looks red looks like they're sitting 2 at the moment. Great try there from Curl Jam. Move some stones around if they could.
It was a tough shot.
It was a very tough shot. We would have needed to get our protractors out to calculate the right angles. And so it looks like Sarah Westman just holding the broom, potentially just for another draw.
Just for another draw with that ice.
Just to try and come up 3.
So Helen setting up for the last shot of the end. Just to draw. Try and get 3. Karen and Kristen sweeping immediately. Just need to drag it in. They've left it.
Anything on the white paint is fine.
And beautiful shot. Lovely shot.
So applause applause up here in the lounge. We'll wait for the official score to be hung, but we believe it's 3. 3 to Team Williams.
Yeah, 3.
So thanks to Sandy Gagnon, hanging the score of 3. Hammer flips.
It's the most important job of the whole competition, is hanging up the score.
Absolutely. And we are very grateful for all our volunteers and support personnel here. So we've had Rob Gagnon, who's come and joined us up in the lounge, so Deputy Chief Umpire. Obviously only one game today, so getting the morning off, but he'll certainly be back out on the ice along with Sandy and our other officials for our mixed doubles competition soon. Scores sit 4-1. Team Williams up at the moment, with Curl Jam with the hammer in the 4th.
Straight back into it, going into the 4th end.
Teams will get their 5-minute break after this end. So plenty of time left on the clock, about an hour 47. So they're just going on about an hour worth of game played so far.
As Kristen delivers her first stone.
Just as we're joined by one of our little 4-legged mascots, just at our feet here in the commentary booth. So if your camera angle changes, you know that it's not us. We've just had one of our mascots just sniffing around.
As Kristen delivers a perfect button shot. And as Anne indicates, she'd like a front of house corner guard. Fiona setting up for her first shot, just to set up that guard. Right, so the sweepers have been called off. Just keeping it and sweeping it in. So Aggie on that stone immediately, just to try and get it off centre and get it onto the corner. As Kristen delivers her second shot. Again, just trying to put stones into the house to try and clog it up. Because the more stones that are in the house, more space that's taking up for Curl Jam to try and do draws or hits or anything like that to try and score. So
Absolutely.
just trying to limit the amount that they can score off the end that they have hammer.
And being 4-1 up, they want to try and retain that lead, try and reduce the impact of Curl Jam's hammer.
I think now Anna's gone, no, I don't want that red there anymore. I'm going to head it out. Fiona sets up for a second shot, trying to go for a hit.
So it has been quite an aggressive game so far. Where stones are in the house, let's get rid of them.
Looking a little bit offline, but maybe could tick, go through the porthole and get the back one.
So it goes down the centre line and just nudges out that centre red. So currently sitting shot.
Good plan B for that one if you didn't get one of the front red. Same thing again now. Helena's gone, I don't want that yellow there. We're going to take it out. So Karen setting up for her first shot.
Where do you want to roll?
The goal would be to try and hit out the yellow shot rock and then try and tick behind and just roll behind their front guard.
So thanks again to everyone who's joining us from wherever you are around the world. We're in around about halfway through the fourth end here of our Australian Women's National Championship Game 3. Best of 3 series.
Sarah sweeping vigorously. Just trying to keep it on line. Make sure it just doesn't hit their own red. Whoa.
As you
Beautiful.
can hear from the crowd, it was a great shot.
There was another whisker in that one, right?
There was another whisker in that one. Karen Titheridge just patting Sarah on the back. Ice in her veins.
Feels really good when you make shots like that.
That's right. And some great sweeping as well. So great support from the team to try and execute what needed to be done.
I think given the location of the broom and the amount of ice, looking to go for another hit. Again, just probably trying to get those stones out so there's nothing to hide behind and just reset maybe a little bit. And setting up for her first shot. And sweepers are on it immediately.
Intense concentration on Ann Powell's face.
Oh, unfortunately, we'll go straight through.
There's that whisker again.
That's all right. She's still in good spirits about that one.
Always has a smile on her face, Ann
Always.
Powell.
Looks like Team Williams just looking to hit from their red and then go behind their front red guard.
Just trying to build up that house, try and get stones in.
As Karen sets up second shot. Yeah. Nice delivery. Sweepers on it immediately. Plan B maybe is now just to hit back.
Just nudge that red, the red one there. And Powell sweeping it to try and get it past the tee line.
So the front red still in play. It's biting the top wood.
So red currently sitting 3.
And then Jen just having a little strap chat. Maybe to look to freeze on that red.
Yeah, quite likely. The important thing for Team Powell is they need to start getting some stones in the house.
And especially again if you freeze on that red that's close to the button, they're still hiding behind their front yellow guard as well. And coming in. Jen pulls the sweepers on. Looks like it's coming in nicely. Just got to try and get it through that top guard, and looks like they will.
Past the top yellow.
Yep.
Bringing it
And
in.
sitting it on.
And just
Great shot,
freezes
Ann.
on that red. Great
Yeah.
shot there.
Wonderful shot, and fist bumps all around. And there's a smile on her face.
And has a smile on her face, as she always does.
So Helen indicating that she also wants to freeze on top of the yellow as well. Sarah going for her first stone, I believe.
So at the start of the end we had the hitting game, now we're going for the freezing game.
Yes, the draw freeze game.
Sweeper's just sweeping for line, just so it doesn't overcurl.
And both of them on now.
Still got a bit of weight to it.
Ooh, also a very lovely shot.
Just a little nudge there, shakes the stones around, little pocket around the button there.
What would you say would be shot rock at the moment, right?
Look, I'm not willing to put anything on that. I'm going to leave that up to the professionals and the skips out there. So whether it's a measure or whether it's a skips call, I'm happy to let them make the call.
Back line.
Certainly an exciting game. It's certainly an exciting game though, as it has been all competition. Yesterday, Team Williams won the first game and Team Curl Jam won the second game, taking us to our third game today.
You had quite a bit more ice than that.
Looking like Anne wants to
I
go
don't know
for...
exactly what it's going to do. You like hacks? Okay.
Well, yeah, if Jen hits the red on the right angle, you can push that. Oh, no. What's coming through?
A touch more, maybe.
I think so. This will be an interesting shot. We're not quite sure what the call is. There's been points at guards and points at outs, and all we know is it's just some narrow ice. And I reckon Jen Westhagen is just going to throw with quite a fair bit of velocity.
Does Andy call wait, bit of a help. Anyway, but she's called off the sweepers. Called off the sweepers. It's curling in just to try and hit out that front red a little bit.
Just a little nudge there, but just popped out their back yellow out of the house. Much easier to see what the score is now at the moment. So red sitting 2. Curl Jam with the yellow stones with hammer in this end. Still plenty of stones left in the end though.
I think Helen just looking to block that, hold that line coming through because they are sitting 2 at the moment. Yeah, as she indicates, just to try and stop that line. So Sarah delivering a second shot, so it's on immediately. Just to try and block that space in that hole so they can't draw in or do a shot through. Probably just overcurl a little bit more than what they wanted. There is still the path there to come through.
Just places that places it as a centre guard.
And looking for the it's the smashy
Smashy from Anne. Yep, that's what we're here for.
Well, it is there. Hit the yellow just on the right angle. Comes straight back, hits those 2 reds out because they're pretty much right behind each other. Looks like that's the call that Curl Jam are going to go for. And then potentially best case scenario is that front yellow ends up being in the 4-foot.
So again, just Jen Westhagen, high velocity shot.
Sweepers on it immediately. Just to try and hold that line. Oh. Ooh.
Oh, great
Amazing shot.
So Jen's yellow stone nosed their guard, which then hit one of the red stones, which then ricocheted the second one out. So completely changed the house composition. Definitely one yellow, and now that Sarah's just moved out of the way from our commentary booth shot, looking like it's 3 at this stage. 3 yellows.
Trying to get those 2 yellows out. Because again, you remove those 2, help potentially removes, an extra 2 points that Curl Jam could get.
So Helen Williams with her first shot. Curl Jam with hammer in this end. Team Williams up 4-1. Certainly been an exciting end building. Lots of strategy, lots of different techniques in this, as we said earlier. It's the hitting game earlier, then the freezing game. We're back to the hitting game now.
And then going for a first shot. And coming out quickly. Sweepers are on it immediately, trying to keep that line.
So pops out the first yellow and trying to sweep the shooter.
Good sweeping from Anne.
So yellow look like they're still setting 2.
Sitting 2 at the moment, yep. Indicating from Anne, looks like they're sitting 2. Anne's indicating that she just wants to put a stone in the house just to try and guard up that the drawing.
A multi-purpose shot, as some of our commentators earlier in the week were calling it. So both a guard shot, but also one that scores, if possible.
Aggie for her first shot.
Some vigorous communication out there. We can hear it through the windows.
Just a little bit heavy.
So the stones curl past those guards. Helen Williams is just going to now sweep it. Try and take it as far out as she can. Looks like it might... Oh.
No.
She's kicked it away, so it's over the back line.
Looking like Helen's probably going to go again for the hit and roll.
So this is Helen's last shot in the end. 1 stone to come, which is Aggie's for Curl Jam with hammer.
Helen's last stone. A little bit of gusto on the shot.
Sweeper's just cleaning. Looks like it's online.
And just a little bit. Unfortunately won't get the hit and roll. So Curl Jam potentially just drawing in the forefoot and scoring 2 from the end. For the last shot, last stone at the end before the break. Sweepers are on it immediately.
It's just going to be wholly in the white paint. That'll be enough to score.
That'll be enough. Looking like it might be. Got to get off it. Come on, keep going.
Coming in, all 3 sweepers on at the moment, but it's just pulled up in the blue paint. Great effort from the sweepers there, but it looks like it's going to be a score of 1 to yellow. Sweepers taking a well-deserved breath. I think they held their breath the whole way down.
Vice skips are just looking at the rocks to get identification.
We're just having a look and seeing what's happening. Okay. Looks like we're going for a measure. Jen Westhagen making sure that we're not moving any stones. Putting her body on the line to protect them. Okay. So it looks like we're doing a measure for the second stone. Definitely one yellow. They're almost at opposite ends of the clock. If you were to look at this as a bit of a clock face.
So Matthew, you used the measuring device before. How does it work?
So this is all about the deflection. So you can see that there's a bar that hangs down, and so it's a micrometer. So what Sandy Onion is doing at the moment, she's set the bar in a position where it will show a deflection on a reading. And what we're trying to look for is which stone has got the greater deflection, which is showing which is then going to be the closer to the centre.
And then afterwards, she will indicate which stone
is closer. So she has indicated yellow is closer.
Yellow is
so
closer.
That's a score of 2 for Curl Jam. Great sweeping there. That breath at the end was well deserved.
And this is what the measures are for. And those kind of clutch, the game of millimetres, right? And
Absolutely.
that's exactly what it's for.
So teams are going into their 5-minute halftime break, 4-3. Team Williams is up at the moment. Team Williams Red Stones, they'll have Hammer in the 5th end, scoring 4, and Team Curl Jam on 3. So thanks so much for joining us, Grace.
You're welcome, Matt.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a little halftime break ourselves as well, and someone else might be joining you in the commentary booth for the second half of the game. So thanks everyone for joining us, and hopefully you've had a great,
informative and educational experience, and vote for us in the People's Vote for the best commentator.
Absolutely, and enjoy the rest of the game, everyone. Thanks, everyone.
Well, he isn't. So, we are back. Oh, I hate curling fans. I'm joined here by Tanner Davis, our recent men's national champion.
Yeah, that's right.
A few times running now, so congratulations first, Tanner.
Thanks
And
for that, Sam.
he's here to guide you through the last half of the women's national championship game.
Back after the fourth end break.
And it's a tight one. We've
Yeah,
got a real game
4-3.
in our hands
really,
here.
Really close.
4-3, Team Williams in the lead, and they also have the hammer. So you'd like their chances going in, but it's been an up and down game so far.
Very,
I
very
think
close.
we're
Every
in
game's
for a
close.
really exciting finish here.
Lead Stones just coming in the house now.
So we've got the Curl Jam team. Curl Jam,
yeah.
we're calling them. Obviously, putting a centre guard up here, it looks like, playing a bit more aggressive.
So they want it tight to the house.
Leaving the rock alone. And here it comes. Now, this is the third game, of course, if you're just joining us in a best-of-3 series. Tied at 1-1. That's why we do have the third game.
Third game, yeah. Coming right down to the wire here.
A few math fans out there.
Some very good games. Very close. Nice, evenly matched sort of teams here.
It really has been. We were talking earlier about the depth of the women's competition. A lot of close games across the week out of the 5 teams. A lot of games going the full distance. A lot of rocks in play. A lot of great shot making. And this game has been no exception.
Yeah, looks coming down here. Looks going might be in the house, but
It's a pretty early call from you, Tanner.
well,
I think you're right.
it looks. Yeah, we'll see what happens here. No touch on the guard.
Yes, of course, the tick rule is still in play in this tournament. So
Can't move the rock touching the center line.
if it is touching the center line, now anyone new to curling would know that if that rock is on the center line and another rock does hit it, you shouldn't stop it with your foot.
You can,
If the rock is still in play.
And the opposition skip has the choice to put the stones back where they were,
They
or
do.
you can leave them as.
So we had
as they run.
a bit of a controversial incident this week in the men's side where a player just assumed, really, took matters into his own hands and stopped the rock with his foot quite prematurely. Caused a bit of a stir on
Definitely
sheet.
a bit of a
I
stir
think
there,
it was,
yeah.
it was on this sheet, wasn't it?
It
On
might
sheet
have been
B?
on sheet B, yeah.
Yeah.
But the spirit of curling always prevails, and I think the right choices are made.
Well, it just comes down to a gentleman's
it
agreement,
is, yeah,
doesn't it?
it's, it's a good game for that. Good community. This hit here coming down. A lot of weight on that, and that's just going to roll out. But they might get the little back one. There's a nice double. What a shot.
Oh, I think the red one's sitting around in the back 12 foot though.
Tough to say.
So that will count. You want to hear more of me? That's Looks like Karen Tisridge here, the second for Team Williams, being asked to peel this centre guard out. Not quite a centre guard.
Defensive play here.
Defensive play.
They've got the lead. They want to keep it open.
Keep it open, play a nice simple game of curling. It is hanging out there though.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a straight spot in the ice, I think. Oh, might get it at the end
Oh.
here. Just a little tick on that, and that's great. Enough weight there. The rock's
Enough weight opens the centre up and looks like a pretty open end.
yeah.
It's going to be. We'll see. See what
if they're
team-
going to try and deal with this rock that's just biting at the back of the rings here, or might sit on top of it.
Well, what would you do here, Tanner?
Um,
Probably throw a 6-second peel out, wouldn't you?
might peel the run out here. You could sit on it if you're playing a little bit more aggressive, but we're just in the fifth end, so maybe just a hit and stick is probably fine. A blank or a one here is probably all right.
Take the hammer into the sixth end.
Yeah.
Is that something you would like to do? Take hammer into the even ends? You're a big hammer guy.
I think hammer's always nice in the even ends. You want to be coming home with hammer's always a bit of an advantage, even if you're up one or down one. You have well, the hammer.
You like it?
Yeah.
That's good. Alrighty, here with a lot of weight coming down here.
He's just opted for the hit.
Up the hit. Now it's hanging a bit straight. We found it this week on sheet B, especially out there in the 12-foot. The rock really just doesn't like to come back.
Yeah, some runs once it starts going out.
And there's some evidence of it right there. The rock just being peeled out, and an empty house for Team Williams to approach with.
And I think here they're going to try and put the stone somewhere tricky to hit, so they're going to be going for that straight spot again. You know, you got to play to the ice.
It is not going to curl very well out there. That's correct.
No. A lot of curl on this one. Let's get right out to the wing.
We haven't, not that I've seen this week, many open ends like this. We've had a lot more rocks in play, a lot
of rocks in play, especially in the games between these two teams. It's been
well. If you're here for the first 4 ends, a lot of complex and some great shots as well. But both teams here, you know, it's a close game. Nerves would be a factor, I think.
Well,
This is for all the marbles. This is it. Win or go home. And again, if you win, you still have to go home.
You're going to go home anyway.
Because none of us live here.
Yeah.
We're in a different country.
Jen throwing the hit. See if they've adjusted the ice to try and stick around.
Didn't she throw some great shots in the first half? Well, you weren't here.
I was up in the
I'll tell you, she threw some great shots. Yeah, really did. Little run back triple.
Jensen throwing some great shots all week. Yeah. Nice clean hit there on the nose. And that is just biting in the ring.
We're going to call that in?
I think that looks like it's in.
So Team Williams will have to play on it to keep...
just to hit and roll in, just to keep the rock in play, keep the hit game going.
We've got Sarah Westman, Westy, she's known as.
Westy.
Likes to go by Westy.
Yeah, throwing the hit here. A lot of weight coming on.
Throwing a bit of heat here.
Let's see if that run is going to happen here. And that rock again, kind of trending out. That's that straight spot.
And seems to be falling as well.
But you know, a rollout here is not a problem.
Not a problem.
There's nowhere to really hide.
Nice open. Keep it open.
So the Jen will probably try and pop this one in the house somewhere. And
the rocks come back in off the bumper. Unfortunately, that won't count.
Yeah, that'll be out.
Due to I've been running some petitions about bumper curling.
I think there's
a future for it.
I think so.
I think no one's responded to my letters. But I think that's the next step the game will take.
Positive changes.
Some of my best bowling years were from ages 5 to 9, when I would use the bumpers down at the the 10-pin bowling rink alley, the bowling alley. Yes.
Yeah.
See, I stopped going because I couldn't use the bumpers anymore. I was no longer at
and they just took that away from you.
At a bumper-appropriate age.
And that's the thing. I think any age should be a bumper-appropriate age.
And that's, again, but I don't have the confidence to go down to the local bowling alley anymore. Do you ever use that little slide? You push the ball down? Do you ever use that?
I've never done that. Not a big bowler.
No, so Tanner, so not a big bowler.
Oh, this is going to come up short. Okay.
Well, this will give Team Williams the opportunity to come around it, but
they're going to hit it.
They don't want to borrow that.
They're up. They want to just keep the.
I said they had the opportunity. They didn't have to take it. Interesting here, though. I mean, don't want to call it early, but you could
jam on the side. Yeah.
Jam off the side and roll back in, perhaps. Wouldn't that be a real treat to see here?
Yeah, this one's really curling here. It might stick around, and this is an opportunity. Curl jam to get a rock in play.
Do you think they'll take it even though it's in the center?
I think they're going to be drawing right in now.
Well, yeah, I'm saying, and as I'm saying it, they're putting the broom down, so you do have an advantage. I think they're going to play the draw here, Tanner. What do you think? Yeah, that's a good call by me. The sweepers are on it early here, but line's looking nice. It is out there. The sheet has been tricky throughout the week.
Tricky sheet, for sure. Looks like, I mean, it's finishing nicely here.
Yeah, I think it'll still be showing.
Might be just peeking outside.
That is the risk you take, playing around a centre guard when you don't have the hammer.
Yeah.
When you do have the hammer, apologies.
Well,
The scoreboard, I can't really.
Yeah.
It's a bit tricky.
Red has the
It's
hammer
a bit
here.
too cerebral
So
for me.
Team Williams with the hammer. That one's going to come down here and hit this. And probably roll to the open side. That's probably the plan.
You like the roll away?
I think that's
The roll away would give
advantage.
Curl
for the
Jam
draw.
another shot.
Yeah, would give him
and
another
drawing
shot.
under the guard
Yeah.
and giving them a chance to steal, which would be huge, tying the scores back up.
Yeah, make for a continued tight battle.
Can't believe you don't like bowling.
Just not my sport. Maybe if bumpers were allowed.
That's what I'm saying.
On it early.
On it early. We're just hanging out there.
Sorry?
Yeah, they're going to opt for the hit. You could be aggressive and play the draw if they wanted to steal, but it looks like the hit's what they're confident in.
I think the hit and roll's a bit safer, of course.
It's definitely safer.
If you make the draw, if you play the draw, you've really got to be.
Yeah, you make it great. You know, if you miss it, you're looking at giving up too.
And that's the sport in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah.
In my head, I'm very, very good at making all the shots,
Well,
but
it's, you know,
in reality, it's something far from that.
I think you make all the shots as a spectator.
I haven't missed up here yet.
Yeah.
Well, I missed before when I called the wrong shot.
Oftentimes,
But,
yeah, you definitely.
But you live, you
Yeah.
learn.
A little bit, she told me.
Right, this is Aggie here throwing last rocks for Curl Jam. Definitely be getting rid of this red rock.
Yeah, they're gonna. Well, looks good here. And just the nose hit.
Nose hit. Nice weight there. Nice little hack. Don't need to be crazy with it. Don't need to.
You don't need to overthrow
throw
it. You
5,
don't need a
6 seconds
5-second
at it.
peel. Yeah.
I think you nearly broke my foot yesterday with one of yours.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it seemed intentional, but
Well, you know,
no,
once you're on the ice,
no
I
bad,
think,
no
you
bad
kinda-
blood. The spirit of curling will always prevail.
That's what I said earlier. Yeah,
Anytime he says peel, I'm like,
Well, you tried to break your own foot with one of the rocks, didn't
I
you?
certainly did. Yeah, that was a lower weight though. Helen just making the hit here.
The intention would be to roll out, I'm assuming, here.
Yeah, I think a blank is great,
It's a blank end. So a blank end is when neither team scores.
and
but
the hammer will stay.
Will stay.
Yeah, with the team, letting them carry that into the sixth, and hammer in the even ends is always good.
The warm room here is buzzing.
A lot of energy.
A lot of energy up here, and I have to say the main reason I wanted to commentate was to get the best seat. I couldn't see from where I was sitting down the end there.
We definitely got the best seats. in
Joke's
the
on
house.
everyone else.
Yeah.
Yep, one, you have to listen to me talk. It's a delight to hear you talk, but me, I'm not too sure. The reason I say that, we can see that line, that was never missing. That was a fantastic shot from Helen
Yeah,
Williams.
rolling out college shot with the blank end,
And Team Williams to maintain a 4-3 lead.
carrying the hammer into the
Carrying
sixth.
the hammer
end.
into the sixth end, and we'll be coming home here. Now, we have a message from one of our fans out there on the internet. It says, "Hi, Sam. Long-time watcher, first-time caller." I should have read the whole message first before I started to read it. It actually says, "Congratulations on another second place in the Australian Championships," and that's the whole message. Big shout out to former Australian curler Vaughan Rossio. Loves the sport, loves watching it.
So that's another second. How many is that now?
Oh, it's a few now, Tanner.
Yeah?
Thank
Wow.
you for reminding me. You've been there. You've been there for most of them.
Yeah.
With me and against me too.
Yeah,
So,
a little bit of both.
Some of
yeah.
them are yours. If anyone has the other messages, I will definitely proofread them before I read them.
That was a good call. And that's just going to be off center. Would you say that's on the center line, Sam?
That's above my pay grade, Tanner. Oh,
It can involve the tick shot if it's off the center line.
are we getting
Like that.
umpire
No.
intervention here?
I think it looks like they've decided that might be just touching the center line.
Not that you play anything at it probably, but just nice to know before the shot comes down the tolerances
exactly,
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
shots. Because if it is touching, are you saying center line? Oh, it's really close.
The center lines here are quite wide.
Well, they're not really wide. They're right at the middle. They're dead.
They
up
are in the
of
middle,
the
yeah,
ice.
yeah.
Just for anyone confused at home, the center line is in the center of the sheet.
And this looks like it might just
But
slide out the
regardless,
back.
Kristen throwing a little shot there.
And with a power sweep.
It is going to drift
And
just
that's
through the back of the house, though.
Opportunity for Curl Jam to get another rock in play.
Setting up their steal attempt. Again, the second best thing to having hammer and six is scoring in six.
That is great.
regardless.
Yeah.
While we get this end set up, if anyone has any other messages out there, send them in. Any questions, comments, messages of hope, I don't know. Send them in. We'll
Do our best.
do our best. We've got second lead stone here. Looking like a really...
A bit out there.
it is.
But again, that straight spot on this sheet all week. Rock's tending to
It hasn't seemed
really
to
hang out there.
discriminate against hits and draws. It really has hung either way.
Yeah.
Good finish at the end, but it definitely hung out there for most of its journey down the sheet, giving Team Williams the opportunity to hit here. Maybe a little cheeky roll under the
Yeah.
guard.
You know, I think I like rolling to the open side here with hammer as
With
opposed
hammer.
to behind the guard. Always nice to keep play away from the center when you have the hammer. And that might just happen. It is really running there.
It's
Oh. And tough miss there.
some good weight there from Kristen, but unfortunately it just did not seem to get back to a place where it would be hitting the rock.
Contact with the rock is the best way to remove the stone.
That'll do it. That'll definitely is probably the most important part of hitting a stone is making contact
is
with
contact,
it.
yeah.
I think that's got to be it. That's Tanner Davis, everyone. Follow him for more tips on curling and just general physics. So definitely in this sixth end, Team Curl Jam in the driver's seat. How about the shirts?
Great shirts, yeah.
It's like a curling-inspired Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
Some of the team members have opted to kind of tie it up the top. So it's a bit of a little half Hawaiian. Like Polynesia, like halfway between Australia and Hawaii, like a little halfway. Just really getting into it. I'm making a lot of
hand
motions
gestures.
here in the commentary box.
Yeah, that's a pretty good shot there.
That's right, but
So it's-
just is sitting behind the tee.
A little behind the tee, yeah.
Team Williams tossing up a few options here. What would you be doing, Tanner?
I'd be playing the first shot that Helen's pointing out here is the double. And you do have, if you're a little tight, you can always hit the guard. There's more than 5 rocks, as we've seen in some games. You can't hit the first 5. But now we can, so we're going to play the double and roll.
Don't think we've seen
Sorry.
many teams make that mistake this week, have we?
It's something that's happened. I haven't really kept track of every team at this event, but
But you mean
certainly something that I've heard rumor has happened.
your team, you'd have a rough idea of.
I'm not too sure.
I think you are sure.
This looks pretty good here, coming in.
It
A
is
lot of
move-
weight.
it
It's
is
curling a bit
moving
more
a
than I
bit.
think they anticipated. And that's by the guard, but not enough for the double.
I'm not sure of the vision at home for everyone out there watching, but Sheet B this week has been a little bit notorious for having straight spots kind of out in the 12 foot, the edge of the 8, the 12 foot, and then inside the 4 foot, really, really cutting across.
Big curl, yeah. At
Big
all sorts
curl.
of weights, yeah.
All sorts of weight. So that hit, obviously, being iced inside the 4 foot, or just inside, seemed to move a lot more than previous hits we've seen on this sheet.
We've seen a lot of
in this
teams,
game.
you know, have a. It's tricky ice to read and to understand, and there's been some misses and some great shots made, but definitely tricky ice for both teams.
Yes, they are playing on the same ice out there.
Thank you for that.
That
Thank you,
is,
Sam. That's a good point.
Yeah, they're both teams on sheet B at the moment.
Which is usual for curling.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Important shot here for Team Curl Jam. A little bit precarious there at the back of the tee. So if they can count 2 and make access that one a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, this one they just want it in the rings.
The pressure on.
So they're going to be sweeping as hard as they can to
It's a
get that
great
rock.
sweep here from.
Really great sweep.
Just got to.
And is it enough? No. Oh, and
Ooh.
tough to say. It might be a measure, but it looks like it might be just out of the house.
Team Williams looking like they're going full defense here, and trying to get rid of well, at least one of the rocks.
Well,
Two of the rocks.
would you be playing the peel here, Sam, or would you be drawing it?
Me, you know what? My hits aren't that great, Tanner. I would not be playing the
know,
peel.
yeah.
I'd be calling the peel, getting someone else to do it.
Like the shot, just not the thrower.
That's that was a great comment from me this week, wasn't it?
That was a
Yeah.
great comment. Yeah.
What happened on that shot? Nailed it.
Yeah, you got lucky, I guess.
Yeah. 1 out of 16, it had to happen. 1 out of 14, only 7 ends.
Some weight coming out here. Big throw.
You'd be looking at all 3 here, wouldn't you, Tanner?
Well, you always hope to get the 3.
Yeah.
This looks pretty close.
Real
Gotta
close
curl up a
here,
little
so-
bit. Oh, real close.
Just over the top, but does the job, gets rid of the
Yep.
the highest guard, opening it up a little bit more. And all it does is really forces Curl Jam to replace it
Yeah.
a few times until
Later on in
Later
the,
on
in
in
the
the
end.
end.
And then they might be making a play for the button just to try and solidify their position for the steal. But for now, it'll just be a high guard.
bit of cat and mouse, you might say. You might not as well.
You might not. I didn't.
I did.
You did.
It's the strategy behind curling is we'll talk about it for hours, couldn't you?
You really good. It, there's a lot of depth
And we're
in
struggling to
strategy.
do it for 15 minutes. It's been, I think.
Yeah, very difficult.
No hits. It's like 16.
Bit of chat in the warm room about the 5 rock rule and its expansion, perhaps.
Continue.
Something you have a very strong
6
opinion
rock.
of.
I'm very strong opinion that
Yeah.
hitting is a very important part of the game.
That's when one rock hits another, isn't it?
They have to make contact.
Make
for
contact.
That,
Yeah, that's correct.
And
Yeah,
this
so-
guard, it's definitely sliding. That'll work just great. Yeah.
That's a great shot there. However, the closer the rocks are together, the the easier it is for that first rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you make contact with that first one,
Yeah.
and you're hoping that one goes and makes contact with another one.
Yeah, I mean,
That's-
I know you don't hit a lot, but that is how it works, yeah. And trying for the
So,
double peel again here.
Westy here with the
This looks pretty
a
good.
great
I
shot.
think this
Looking
might,
real close
might even get
here.
the back one. Yeah, and
Bang,
it's going to be on the
bang.
back one. Oh, that's not great.
gets all 3 rocks moving. However,
Great throw, but not always. You don't always get the best outcome with the angles.
it's a game of millimeters, isn't it?
It sure is. They're going to put another guard up, really protect that improved stone on the button now.
So that Yellowstone there now fully on the button, in a much better position, making it changing things up for Team Williams, because they would have always had that shot to the button to save their one.
And now with the extra guards cutting down that draw path,
Both draw paths
really
are
putting the pressure on
pretty
Team Williams here.
challenging. So it's going to take
So, Jen's
Good shots.
second rock here.
some good shots. To,
Just a repeat of the
recover.
first, another guard. hanging out there. They're going to try and curl this a bit, get it back to the center line. I think the called shot was to sit corner on that red guard. But it looks like they're running straight there again.
Again, this straight spot on sheet B really making it difficult for some teams.
Leaves a bit of a port. You know, would you be throwing through there?
I'd be calling someone to throw through there, yes.
I mean, if you do hit one of the guards, it's not the end of the world here.
No, I think the shot here is to get rid of this counting rock.
Yeah.
I think you can get a little roll under as well.
Not a lot of room.
Not a lot of room. It's probably about a rock and a half through there, do you think?
Yep.
So accuracy here is key, as it is in most curling shots. Accuracy is one of the most important parts of the game, I think. Would you agree?
I think so, yeah. And this looks like it's
really
pretty
close here. Sweepers are off.
And that's just going to just clip the guard. Bit of an upset. Yeah, you can hear the crowd upstairs.
On the edge of their seats. Luckily, we don't have to be on the edge of our seat because we're just right here at
great seats.
This is the best thing we've just decided to do, I think.
Yeah. And they're going to try to put another guard back.
Now that shot there has opened that port up a little bit, and I think made both draw paths, well, a little easier.
So they're having some discussion about where they want to put this guard. Looks like. And
in these situations, rock placement is so key. It's not just throwing a guard up, throwing a one guard or a two guard, which dictates how high or far away from the house we like the rock to be.
Well, it's going to be line and depth. I think they're both kind of important.
Line and length, a lot like cricket.
I know a lot about cricket. Yeah,
you sound like you do.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Glenn McGrath? He was always known for line and length, just consistency.
If you say so. Yeah,
I do. Very adamant about one of Australia's greatest fast bowlers. But here it's a team shot. It's all four players communicating to get
the best outcome.
And just the rock exactly where it needs to be to take away.
And this rock might not be exactly where it needs to be.
It's looking a bit heavy.
Yeah, they're going to get a little wick off this one and push that almost exactly where it needs to be.
That's a
great outcome.
It is.
You know,
I'm probably a bit more aggressive. I would have swept it and tried to count two in the house.
Oh yeah, to get a little biter on the side.
But I'm greedy. That's typically me. Curling, life, just my everyday.
Looks like they're going to throw through there again. I think they can see about half a rock, maybe a little bit more.
I do think the ice inside this 4 foot does move a little bit more than other places.
There's a bit of swing.
Bit of swing. So I think this rock is accessible.
I think the best, they just want to come down on top of that, put the pressure onto Curl Jam.
Now, Tanner Hit, would you be throwing a nice board weight here, control weight to get rid of the rock, or would you like it?
I think the best case here, you probably want to go a little bit down, maybe hack, because you're going to need that curl.
Yeah,
it's a little tight. You want to get full, the full rock. You don't want to be rolling off to the side or out.
So you're trying to get to nose here?
I think I'd like nose, even a little inside roll if you can, depending on how it's tracking. I think if you're really tight to that top guard, you could get a little inside roll on the nose and just sit fully covered.
So then making the final shot for Curl Jam that little bit more tricky.
Yeah, exactly. All right, first stone for the skip into Williams here. They've opted for a little more weight.
This looks like a board weight, almost control.
Yeah, looks like they're sweeping it here. That's the spot that really moves, and if they can get it by, they're going to have a great shot here. And they buy plenty of room on that, so they're going to have a roll off to the side.
Roll away though.
Now leaves the draw open here. If Curl Jam were to get aggressive and put the pressure on, they could play a draw behind cover and force Helen to have to try and throw that hit again. But you're risking 2 points.
That's correct. It's all about risk-reward here in the biggest stage of them all in Australian curling.
If you got that weight in your back pocket and you can just put it on the button, it's definitely a risk to take. It looks like they're opting to hit here, though. Is that what that...
Well, the upside here for Curl Jam is if they hit and bury it under any of these three guards.
It's,
these beautiful guards out front. The blank becomes a lot more difficult for team.
That's true, yeah.
And forcing them.
Yeah, William can keep blanking here into the 8th.
However, we've got sweepers on hard here.
They're on it. I think they're going to be by the guard, though. A really good sweep. Really good sweep. And they're just by.
Just an excellent
and they're going to get a big roll in. And that rock's in play.
You can hear the applause. It's absolute scenes here on sheet B.
Great
What an
shot.
absolute
What
fantastic shot.
a great sweep. Curl jam, really getting over top of those brooms to hold the stone.
I just heard from Matt Panucci. He reckons between those two rocks there was a boarding house scrape of butter distance between those two rocks there. So great job by the sweepers
More than the width of it.
to hold that. You're throwing the rock, Tanner. What are you throwing?
I'm throwing a draw here, I think.
Are you scared?
I think you
You're
throw
scared
the
of
draw.
the hit?
Why
Why are you scared of the
Well, I
hit?
don't think you need to. I think it's nice to have your draw weight. You've got backing. You know, you can always come down if you're a little up. So your tolerances here are
That's
kind of T-line plus. You can come right down to that yellow stone at the back.
You can see the roll there that the Team Curl Jam got is very good. It's tempting.
It's
It'd be
broken out
tempting-
enough.
tempting
You
to
could try to
throw-
hit.
Is it tempting to throw it?
But that's a bit of trouble. I
But
think,
I
I think
do
you take one here. You're
I do
still up
think,
2.
I think the smart money here is take your 1.
I think if you're playing the scoreboard here, they take their 1. They're up 2 points.
Up 2 points. Always a good place to be.
They force 1 in the 7th, and then they're up a point with Hammer coming home, which is
Well,
that's a great place to be.
In the perfect world, it's a great place to be.
But I think it was a good rock placement for Team Curl Jam. Definitely puts the pressure on, because a steal here could be very, very good for Curl Jam.
And on the way, the last stone of the 6th end. It's being kept clean by Kristen and Karen, the sweepers here for Team Williams.
Weight looks pretty good on this.
Weight looks good. That straight spot still persists, however.
And she's got that no problem
By
at
the
all.
guard, carried
Nice
gently
weight on that
right
rock. Right to the D-line.
top 4, and it is a score of 1 for Team Williams, who lead 5-3 after 6 ends of play here in the final game of the Women's National Championship. We are back. What ended up in the 7th end, isn't it?
Yeah, we're at the start of the 7th. Looks like Williams stopped it to go straight into the house. And we've got Curl Jam calling the corner guard.
Pretty standard strategy.
Very standard.
Think so?
Yeah.
Curl Jam ready to generate their 2.
I think they really need to go hard for a 2 here.
And this is where it gets interesting, and a lot of teams will differ. They'll vary on their strategy. If they want to get 2 here, do you want to blank here? Do you know,
Yeah, a lot of teams will
coming into
will
the
do
you know
things.
into crunch time curling. A lot of teams will opt for, they feel more comfortable stealing perhaps, or they feel they'd like to have the hammer in the last end.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. I think statistically, it's you're better off to have hammer in the last end.
Yeah.
To win. But again, it'll change team per team. So that rock slid a little bit deep, and Williams going to be hitting here. Kristen throwing the takeout.
So yeah, that guard from Curl Jam sliding a little bit too deep into the rings. And a
Nice
great
bounce head.
shot by Kristen there. That straight spot out wide on sheet B persisting. But Rocks in Play, I think, will be the name of the game here for Curl Jam. Chasing some points.
They're going to get as much in the house as they can. Try and find some opportunity. Looks like they're calling again. This looks similar. Probably going to come right down.
We'll wait.
That might be a little bit up here.
Again, in these early rocks of an end, anything in the house is fair game. You can hit it, hit it as hard as you want. This looks like where that rock is heading. It'll be...
Didn't get the curl they were looking for. And I think
a little bit of an interesting angle on that back one, but...
another hit here.
Another hit on its way. Team Williams opting to keep things clean.
I think they're okay to roll out here. Might be better.
Less opportunity for,
for
jams and just general curling chaos.
Potential jam here. They're sweeping here to make sure that rock doesn't overcurl. But looks like they've got that.
Got that.
No problem. And they're going to roll out.
Yeah, I'm going to roll out.
That's a great outcome. That rock's not going to be any problem.
Just sits there in the corner. Not out of play. Obviously, all players watching for that, making sure that rocks are going where they're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
No funny business out there. It looks harmless now, but you never know.
It could
be a factor later on. It probably won't.
It's quite unlikely.
Imagine if it does. I'll just look like an absolute genius.
Yeah.
Curling. Someone, please hit it.
Trying the same shot again here. They want to sit frozen on that red stone to make their yellow rock harder to remove.
They're coming down to it?
Yeah, they're coming right down to it. It's the call.
I think that's the best move now without any guards in this end.
Yeah.
Usually you use your guards to generate multiple points. But without them, you've got to be a bit creative.
Yeah.
Look at options, look at everything at your disposal.
It's looking pretty good.
Sweep is keeping it moving. The line looks delicious here.
This looks great. They want to take that as deep as they can now, right up to it. And that's a great shot.
Lovely shot there.
Yeah, that can be tough to remove, and a jam here could be
great for curl jam.
Great for curl jam. Yeah.
Is that the origin of the name? Do you know?
I'm not sure the origin. No.
No, I thought you would have done some research before we jumped on here, but
yeah. So can you enlighten me then on the history?
No, I you seem like the research guy. I'm just here for. I was talking about bowling earlier. I mean, you think I've second rock here, Karen.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Been throwing great all week. Both teams have been just throwing lights out.
Yeah, some real great games. Maybe this red one might come into play here. Have a little jam on that outside.
No, I'm praying for it.
That might be a jam for curl jam here.
It looks like it's
beneficial jam. Yep.
Curling that little bit.
And that's why they placed the stone in front for that exact reason.
A lot of oohs and ahs here in the crowd.
Yeah.
Now, a few options here for curl jam. Bit of an interesting situation set up.
What would you play here, Sam? What do you like?
I was hoping you were going to answer it because I'm not too sure. What would you play, Tanner?
Well, I think a little hit and roll is not a bad thing. They've been throwing a lot of hits.
Do you like coming this handle, or would you be coming the other way?
I think I'd be playing the outturn on this.
For right-handers, of course.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Plenty of lefties out there.
A few lefties in our mix here in the Australian curling community. Shout out to them.
And you just want to make sure that you roll a little bit to make sure that you're sitting first and second shot rock. So they have to outcount the red off to the side.
If I had like a little drone or something and you could like place it place
The
it on
rock.
perfect-
Yeah. Where would you put it?
Well, I'd be
finish
hitting
that?
this and rolling as far over to that red stone as possible.
Right. So you want almost sitting in front of it again,
Yes.
protecting your
Yeah.
stone. Looks
And
like
creating-
they are going to get just a nose hit on this.
That's it. It's they
A
held,
little roll in.
sweepers
Yeah.
held it quite straight there.
That's a great shot, though.
They are
and
sending
that-
1 and 2,
They are out counting the other red.
which will
1 and
force
2.
Team Williams to make a play on one of them, if not both.
The double would certainly be there. I'd be looking at that in this position.
The double's there, but if you aren't able to make contact with that second rock, you're most likely rolling out.
That is true.
That is true. So it's double or nothing, you might say.
I'd say double or nothing.
You like
yeah,
that?
double
Yeah.
down on this.
Ooh. Westy bringing the heat.
Didn't see if they were calling the double, but don't think they're going to get it with that one. That's just going to roll out.
Well, that's really close.
Oh, and they got it, but
Makes
not
contact.
quite enough.
Does make contact with the second rock, removes one of Curl Jam's rocks.
Now they could hit or draw. But they have
Here,
to have another rock as second shot. It's gonna be important.
I do like this call, very aggressive.
Very aggressive call.
The freeze looks like what they'll be playing.
Now they have to be real careful with the freeze. They don't want to. They have to get second shot.
Have to be
here.
second shot.
Have to be second shot.
Have to be second shot. The over curl will be
That's the risk.
very, very unpleasant.
So the drops on Eric shot with high tariff.
I think this is their best chance to generate 3 points,
Yes. Yeah.
bringing some opportunity for more points out of this end. If you were just hitting, you'd be saying pretty happy with a 2.
Yeah. And I think if you make this, you're almost guaranteeing a shot for 2.
You
which
heard
is
it here
great.
first, a guarantee of 2. from
I'd say
Tanner
guaranteed to a
Davis.
shot to make 2. If they make this, you know. But that is a little straight.
We've
And weight might be a bit
we've
down.
got both sweepers on the curl side.
No, it's coming in. If they can get the rock deep enough, that should be fine. They just
in.
really need it in the rings. It cannot be short.
It cannot be short, and
And they will be.
unfortunately it is.
Hmm.
It's I think the tolerance there is a little bump on the
Yeah,
red.
definitely.
On the red, you've
Well,
got
you
to
just
make sure
need
in the house.
2 rocks in play and shot.
Yeah. The one upside for it is it is this it is a corner guard
It will act as
that
cover.
they have longed for in this end,
and
so
with-
there could be an opportunity later to generate a 2 using that.
With 3 rocks to come, they could take advantage of that.
Especially with this rock being hit here by Sarah Westman, right on the nose. Great shot.
And yeah, a little roll over.
Little roll.
They could sit on top of that or kind of tuck one in there. That looks like what they're calling.
Yeah, so with those rocks being further out of the rings, it brings a draw here
Yeah.
into play.
And those rocks behind the tee line act as catchers. If a hit, you have the potential to jam. And Curl Jam is looking for the jams.
Taking a little less ice here for that same line.
Yeah, they definitely
Hoping
tightened
to-
it up after the
hoping
first
to,
one. Ran a bit straighter than they thought.
All around. Jen Westhagen.
A bit more weight on this
with
one.
The rock.
Should be, again, a little bump on that back one's probably your tolerance on this.
Well, it does. If you do go behind the tee line, you are inviting Team Williams into the end.
You
to
absolutely are.
Change their mentality from hitting to.
Uh-oh. And
Bit more
looks
of a
like
draw
they
game.
may have tightened that ice a little too much. And we're just going to get a bump on that guard.
Again, it comes up a little short with that bump on the guard. And now we've got Team Williams discussing whether they play into the end or they hit. I think they might be drawing the open side
I
here.
think they're trying to really put the pressure on and play the force here, which would be when you force the other team to take 1 point as opposed to 2.
That's why it's called the force.
That is why.
Yeah. Checks out. It's
That would put them 5-4 with the hammer coming home if at 1 point.
and no matter what, if you're facing 3 rocks in the rings or 4 rocks in the rings, that button just shrinks up a little bit, doesn't it?
It definitely puts some
Really,
pressure on the skip to make that draw.
From the other end, it just puts a bit more pressure on. And here we go. We have the first time out of the game. Absolute just fever pitch here on sheet B. Now the timeout You not sure on camera if you'll see it yet, but you'll see Team Williams coach Dustin Armstrong strutting down the ice like a man on a mission.
He's going to come and give them his opinion
got,
on the shot here.
He's got, a bit of travel time to, gather his thoughts and prepare to communicate effectively with this team. He's been coaching for a few years now.
And, sometimes the timeout gets called just as a nice moment to kind of take a breath and relax for a moment before
Reset,
throwing.
find center.
On a really, important shot like this could be.
Well, this shot decision almost becomes a bit more, philosophical, doesn't it? It's not just about the shot. It's about the journey that this end is going to take. Do we go aggressive and come around the guard and say, come and get us?
Well, it's how you...
Or do we just draw the
it's
open
the message
side
you're
and
trying
say,
to send.
come and get us, maybe.
Maybe.
And give Curl Jam the opportunity to come around the guard themselves.
Yeah, are they playing for points? Are they playing,
It's mind games. And that's got to be one of the fastest timeouts I've seen in curling history. Dustin Armstrong, straight to the point.
Came in. This is what to do.
He said,
and
this is the
that's
shot,
what he thinks,
ladies.
And they've opted to draw onto the open side
Don't
here.
overthink it. Just say, this is who we are. We're going to draw the open side.
So I think they need a piece of the forefoot here to make this...
Here it is coming down, just under the cleaning of Karen and Kristen, just keeping it and just
And I don't think you really could have put that in a better spot. I think it's exactly where they wanted it.
You got that little drone out again, just placed it.
Yeah, I just dropped that down.
Now a few options here, Tanner.
Yeah.
You can come around the guard, of course, but you're hoping for you're raising the difficulty for your last shot to score.
Yeah.
I think in Curl Jam's case here, getting one probably isn't the end of the world, but giving up one
will
make the last end a little more challenging.
I think, yeah, they really got a gun for scoring here for sure.
So this. Looks like they're coming around the guard. This is their best. This is their best way to get two.
I think they want to overbury a little bit.
Of course. Underline's good.
Oh, they got to be on that.
Got to be sweeping it though.
Okay, and they're by now.
Okay.
How's the weight on this shot? Looks very good. It's very good weight.
Coming in now.
A little deep, but that's okay. I think
it's a great shot. It is setting second shot.
Yeah.
However, giving Team Williams a pick of the lot, really, on how they want to play this.
I mean, that was the risk when you go behind the guard. You're going to be making a double for the last shot to try and score two. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's an aggressive call.
It's aggressive, but what it does is does leave the center open.
I was just going to say, you always have that draw,
or
the little hit and roll on the one to sit one. It depends what they're comfortable with.
Now for Team Williams, rock placement here becomes very crucial.
Yeah, if it runs a little bit short, I think that makes the double a little bit easier.
It's all about making sure that there is no shot to remove both.
I think they want to have those rocks right side by side.
Quite even.
Yeah. At the same depth, right on the tee line for both of them.
Would you play this one a little touch higher, you think? Because it's as long as it's buried.
It has to be buried.
Because
the risk, if you're playing a little higher, if you're poking out from that guard, you've got the hit to make the double across, and that's
very inviting.
Very inviting. And Sam Williams actually made one of those shots in another game this week, very similar position.
And wasn't it a thing of beauty?
Didn't think he would make it,
didn't
but
even want to throw it.
Sometimes, if you're not confident in your ability, you can still make the shot.
But this shot is really is a four-player shot. All four players have to be in sync. Being the rock, believe the rock, be the rock.
Be the rock. And that
place it.
Is going to come up a little short. An open hit for two here. That's kind of the opportunity that Curl Jam was looking for.
So that shot had to be counting. Second shot at least.
And that's
And
that's wide open.
A real swing here. You'd say that for a lot of the end there, Team Williams were in control.
Yep.
Um,
But you know, it only takes one miss sometimes, and it can change the entire outcome of the end.
yes, the tide has turned here.
I gotta be careful of the straight spot out here. Looks like they've really tightened the ice up.
It's just outside that forefoot where it does curl. I do know that.
And this looks pretty good, and they're gonna be sweeping it.
Brooms are down.
And they gotta hold that rock. Luckily, you get half a rock, you might get the jam in the back one.
They're really holding it. They've made contact.
I think they've got this here. And a little bump of the back one. And is it
And
enough? It is.
The tolerance was there, and a great shot from Aggie.
And that's
Two
going to tie it
yellow.
up 5-all.
In the 7th end, we are 5-all, heading home in the 8th end. This is as good as it gets,
This
I
is
think.
right down to the end here. Tied up game. You can't ask for a better match here.
Top of the 8th. Sport.
F&E, It ends as it began.
It's a one-end game.
It's a one-end game. Everything's out the window. The round robin, the LSDs, the
it all comes
sleepless
down.
nights,
Yeah.
the early mornings, the tears, the sweat, the Tiger Balm, pre-game stretching,
Post-game stretching.
post-game stretching.
Yeah.
It all boils down to this. One rock needed to win. Winner takes it all.
Yeah. So we're going to have Curl Jam is going to go really, really hard for the steal, as that is the only option.
They
So
have to steal.
We're going to see a lot of rocks in play.
I hope so.
And Wynn's probably going to try and keep it open, because I think she's going to want to have that draw the last stone and just take one.
Winner takes it all. Winner gets some expenses paid trip.
Is there some? I'm not sure.
Maybe a free meal.
Oh, they get to.
And it's exciting. It's a great year for curling, obviously, with the Olympics coming up, and this is the final year in the Olympic cycle. A few more events this year open to both successful teams in the men's and women's competition, especially.
Yeah.
Well, not especially, just there's an extra event in there.
There
because,
is two really, if you qualify out of the other one. It could
Yes.
be, yeah. So
Yes, so
it'd be
you've got
three
the,
international events if teams qualify.
Of course, so we've
And they're going to put the tick. This is a very difficult shot, but there's no real downside. If
This
you miss
is,
it, you run out the back. And
this is really a lead's dream. Playing something.
was this one of your favorite shots to throw while you were playing lead?
It
for a lot of
was
years? Yeah.
back in my day. You could hit rocks on the center line
Right.
without prejudice.
Nowadays, you hope for this where it's just off the
So you
center.
can see here, it would just be so marginal that it's off the center line. But we've got Kristen throwing a tick shot, trying to clear up some of the junk here.
And so when you're playing off the center line, it's off the center, which means you can touch the rock, but you cannot remove it.
You cannot
the five
remove
rock.
it. You can
needs
still
to be
move it
given away.
around, jiggle it around the playing area. It cannot be removed from play.
And if it's on the center line, you cannot touch it.
I think we might have called that too early. I don't think they were playing that shot at all.
I think they're just going deep. Just the draw to the open
Having
side.
I like that rock back there. Just a little cheeky rock hanging around.
Yeah.
It could be the rock that wins it all.
We'll
You
have
don't
to
know.
see. We will see.
We will see.
We will know. Yeah. And as will everyone watching. Real
It's,
close game here.
But the name of the game here for Team Curl Jam is guards.
And they're going to put another one up. They want a nice high guard here.
Create as much separation as possible.
You want to cover the center. And
Touching the center lines is a real bonus
That's
now
great,
with
yeah.
this new rule in play.
and that is the no-tick rule.
That's the no-tick rule.
This might be bumping on that top one.
Hot dogs right there.
Looking a little hot. The tolerance here is light, of course.
Okay, a little tap. Just a bit of separation here is what they're looking for. Okay, and now that is touching the center line, so the back one can't.
Shell. Yeah.
Just creating as much opportunity for them to, hopefully, for them, sneak one in there to top 4 and protect it for the rest of their days here at in Naseby. Again, while we're here, big thank you to Naseby, the Naseby community.
Yeah, wonderful community.
Maniatoto Curling,
Good
always
small town.
exceptional hosts. We love our time here. Great to travel to the South Island of New Zealand and stay here and curl and then
it's
leave.
always great. Always great.
That is, ice conditions have been great. Speed's been good.
Yeah, speed's been great. The ice has been phenomenal.
Top notch. Reese does an incredible job here.
Always does a great
Comes to
job.
town.
And looks like they're just trying to put another one in. Again, sliding back, kind of 2 little draws to the back of the house.
Now you see Sarah Westman going hard on the rock here to get it
Taking
back.
it right back. They didn't want to.
Why is that?
So I think the reason on that, they didn't want to leave the rock sitting out in front of the tee line where Curl Jam could play the hit and roll and have a buried stone.
Getting nice access to the button.
So
at
taking
a,
it a little
at
deep.
cheaper price.
Exactly. So taking a little deep on that just prevents them from playing the hit and roll over.
It's almost like a no man's land, isn't it, out there?
Could be.
Well, if you've got 2 guards up.
We do. There are 2 guards up. Yeah.
So it's a nice tactical move when the shot was a little bit wider. With that straight spot, again, we keep talking about it.
Yeah.
You'd almost say the straight spot is the 9th player out there on the ice today.
Definitely influencing the game.
Having an impact on the game, for sure.
And we're going to be down that straight spot again. I think they're hoping to get that curl across. Well, we'll see what happens here. They want to put this one just at least in the full 4 foot. This could really be a very important shot.
Well, I think they're all important shots, Tanner, in this game, in this end. You've got to leave it all out there on the ice.
Yeah.
This is it.
Well, one miss could...
There's no second chances here. This
change
is
it.
for
That's
all
true.
the marbles. Now, hard on the sweep.
Hey, they're going to need it here.
They are. We're getting very tight to this guard.
I think that's just going to... Yep, that's just going to rub the top one.
Just gonna
Which,
get
you know, a little bit
cover.
more up front is not a bad thing.
More rocks in play. Both teams are looking, really thinking about their 8th shot now because they're not trying to generate 2 points.
No.
They just need one. One rock
Either
to
team
change
gets
the
one.
course of history
Yeah.
here in Australian curling. And Team Williams trying to get rid of 3 of those rocks of destiny with this shot here.
The triple peel.
The triple peel is definitely an option. I think 2 is more on the cards.
2 is adequate, yeah.
3 would just be scenes, wouldn't it?
That'd be great.
I'm calling hard line on this one.
Man, that
But looking,
looks like it's going to be
looking
2 of them,
pretty
for
good.
sure.
We got 1, 2.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
Yeah.
And the little catcher in the back, and that's
Oh,
okay.
well, rocks flying everywhere on sheet B.
That was a great shot.
Try and keep your eyes on them. Good luck. They are moving everywhere.
And they're going to be putting that guard back.
I think the name of the game now is for Curl Jam just to keep replacing that centre guard until they can't throw a centre guard anymore because they need a point.
And then they need a rock in the rings. That's correct.
That's how the game works. You need rocks in the rings to score points.
It is about having the closest rock to the center.
Typically be the closest one to the button will be the one that does it.
That is how it works. Thank you for that, Sam.
There could be some first-time viewers. Probably not.
At this point in the tournament,
at this
I think,
end, if you've
yeah.
missed all the other games, what
Well,
have
you
you
can
been
go
living
back.
under a
They're all
rock?
out there. You can watch some of the others.
If you haven't seen any of the round robin, the playoffs, then I feel sorry for you. But the good news is you can go to the Curling Australia YouTube page.
Yeah, and they're all up
all
there.
the socials, Facebook, and watch.
That's some great commentary.
I know what I'll be doing on the flight back, certainly, and reliving all of my misses
Some great moments out there.
for years to come, probably, as I try and sleep.
There's no pictures on the scorecard, but there is a video there.
Just watch the viewer count go up over the next few weeks. End 5, Rock 4. No, Rock 5.
What happened there?
Oh,
No.
disaster. But now here, with all of these rocks coming down, Team Williams will want to be hitting these guards and rolling away. Rolling away is
Well, as you were saying, it's just going to be a
It's
case
just as
of
important as hitting the rock.
putting that guard up,
That-
removing
that
it, putting it up.
contact.
You know.
That we keep talking about, the contact on the rock is such a crucial part of the takeout. And
that's
right on cue,
enough.
caught
That's
the
enough.
commentator's curse, perhaps. Now the shooter, the thrown rock has rolled off to the side, but is
Yeah.
still in play. Hopefully, it doesn't. Yeah.
I think Curl Jam here is kind of playing for a miss by putting this guard up. That's the best opportunity they have. Otherwise, it'll be a little tough. Helen will have the draw in the
You've
end.
got to. I think the guards here now have to be a bit higher.
Yeah.
A bit closer to that World Curling Federation logo, just to create some sort of trepidation or doubt when the stones are being peeled, bringing some danger into the lives of those peeling. And this one does look like a nice guard coming down. But again, the higher the better.
This is going to be a little bit deeper, but we're coming up to that World Curling logo.
Very adamant on getting to the center line.
Well, that's pretty important.
It is. However, Team Williams would be peeling it anyway.
Yeah.
If it was me throwing the rock, I would probably hog it because I'd be too scared. But I think leaving them higher at this point creates chances for jams on those two corner guards on the sides.
Which is what you need.
Bringing some luck into your life.
And Sarah with the peel.
Sarah Westman with her stopwatch dangling by her side. With a lovely peel here, making some good contact
no
there.
problem on that shot there at all.
Textbook.
Watch the
So
bounce.
watch
Bumpers are not in curling.
This isn't under nines bowling down at the Ashmore Lanes. A staple of my childhood after school. Thank you to my mum for taking me. Getting we'd get the hot dog special, hot dog and a drink. I think $5 and maybe $10 with a couple of frames of bowling thrown in.
Wow.
But good that those occupying the house caught it before the bumper rock
The bounce back
could impact the rock in the house. So no strike there for Team Williams.
Another guard.
And you're not going to believe this, but there's another guard coming down the ice.
I was just going to say, Jen throwing the guard. I'm going to try and get on the center line. They're going to be a little deep, though, with a lot of sweeping.
Very, very adamant about this center line business.
And that's going to slide a couple feet deeper than they wanted. They'll be playing the same shot here. We've seen this before.
Do you like the come around here, Tanner?
I think peeling is the way to do it.
Okay, okay. Well, you're the boss.
Is that what you would be doing?
No, I was just trying to stitch you up.
Ah, yes. Thanks for that.
Just seeing if you were.
I think she's still got this.
No mistakes here.
Patience
from
on
Westy.
the curl.
Ooh. There we go. So the seventh rock here in the women's
down to the wire.
championship.
Wow.
And Curl Jam calling for another center guard. This is I think this is the last center guard they'll be throwing.
Well, it has to be.
It does.
The one after this has to be in play.
And you mentioned at the start of the end, this little cheeky rock in the
the
back
back
12 here.
Could
I don't want
make the
to
difference.
spoil it, but I think it could be a bit of an impact over the next 5 to 6 minutes.
I think a biter here is not a bad option if that just gets into the 12-foot.
Well, I agree. I do think it all comes down to the peel. Team Williams is always peeling
They're
on
going to
this
peel
rock
it, yeah.
anyway, I think.
Slightly different placement on the rock. Could affect the ice a little bit.
It
It's
could.
Sitting to the right of the
deep,
center.
A little bit off to the right. As we have mentioned all along, the ice has been tougher to read, I think.
Yeah, it's been tough.
I think that's a fair comment. But we do have the two top women's team in this competition, and it all comes down to this.
it might come down to the last 2 stands. Again, we could all ask ourselves the question, what was the point?
So here we are on the way. Peel shot from Helen Williams.
Riding the center line.
Right at the
Sweepers are
centre
on
line.
it,
Sweepers
trying
are on
to
it,
make
making-
sure that's going to roll out.
making sure she gets some contact, but not too much contact.
And that's a great shot.
And that's just textbook Peel.
So this rock here is going to... Oh, we're going to have another
the
timeout.
second
Curl
of
Jam
2
calling the
timeouts.
timeout.
Couldn't have called it any later than this. This is the last chance they have. And now it's all about rock placement. And again, I think like you mentioned before, a nice time to just take a moment,
Take a breath.
and prepare for.
A very important... Could be the most important stone.
Well, it is.
It is,
I don't think there's any debate.
Guards, so
Hundreds of rocks thrown throughout the week.
What are you playing here, Sam? What's your thought? We do have that little catcher in the back.
Catcher in the back, I think, it comes into play big time. For me, it's a tough position to be in for Curl Jam with the centre being so wide open. They'd love something to hide behind a bit closer to the scoring area.
It looks like they're opting to draw the open side.
Well, there's not really an open side here, as there's 2 corner guards up. So it's going to be
the
very tough
side
shot.
without the backing. I'd be thinking of playing the draw on the other side just in case the hit can jam in the back, roll out. You've got
so what we have here is the yellow corner guard is closer in, making a potential draw for the win a bit tougher
bit more
as the
difficult.
scoring area does shrink. But like you mentioned, coming to the side where the red corner guard is, the left side on our vision here, does bring in the potential for a jam on that back
if they're
red.
throwing a hit, and they
If
might
they
just
do
jam.
opt to throw the hit and
Or
pick
they
it
might
out.
just draw. I should say.
The key here, I think, is being fully buried.
And placement is going to really matter here.
Fully buried here, so you're forcing Team Williams to draw for the win, draw for the national championship. Now the sweepers here are right off this one.
Looks like,
They're close, but again, line is very crucial.
that looks really nice. That's coming in
Perfectly
very
around the
good.
guard.
That's a really great shot.
Make sure they bury it, and
that's perfect.
A roar, an absolute roar from the crowd here. It is electric.
So
And everyone appreciating I think the perfect shot there from Curl Jam. And no matter what happens here, I don't think in this end especially, they know they couldn't have done anything more.
they did everything they
They
could.
played this end
They made
very well.
A lot
And that
of great made
shot's,
shots on both sides.
That shot's placed perfectly. So now it
It's going to all come down to this draw.
comes down to Helen Williams of Team Williams. We'll need a piece of the 4-foot for the win and for the national championship in the 2025 women's section of the curling tournament here in Naseby.
could be dancing in the streets of Stranraer tonight.
She's thrown thousands of these in her life, but this one has a little bit more added pressure to it.
A lot of pressure. Yeah.
And it's on its way.
All comes down to
A
this.
hush comes over the crowd,
Sweepers are on it.
except for you. Sweepers are going hard on it.
Weight on this looks pretty good.
Wait, looks close.
And getting
Communication
ready
all
to
around.
sweep it. I don't
It's
think
slowing
she's going to be able
down,
to.
and you could not put it any
What a
closer
great way
to the
to end
pin.
the Nationals.
What an absolutely fantastic pressure shot from Helen Williams.
Team Williams with the win.
Great sweeping, great communication. What a great team shot and a team win.
And right on the pin.
And
Great
they
series of
look
games in the
absolutely
playoffs here.
thrilled about it. Hugs,
Yeah.
smiles. The duality of curling really on show. Winner takes it all, and
Smiles all around.
second
though.
place
Yeah.
have to come back next year. So we've got a final score here of Red Rocks Team Williams 6, and taking it in the 8th end over Curl Jam with the Yellow Rocks 5 points. It does not get any closer
It does not.
than that in this sport of curling. Hugs all around. Big congratulations to Team Williams there. And of course, well done to Team Curl Jam as well for making it so far in the tournament and taking it about as far as it can go in this event.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
Well, that's a wrap. Thank you to everyone that's tuned in, especially over this week of men's and women's competition. Make sure you keep following along Curling Australia on the socials and on the YouTube channel. We've got our mixed doubles competition coming up this week, and the streaming will be continued. A great job. Great thanks to everyone here, the umpiring crew, the ice crew, everyone that's been involved in the commentary and the production that we're able to do. It's been an absolutely incredible thing we can offer here on Curling Australia. We're putting some good content out there, I think, some great curling over the week, and make sure you stay tuned for a bit more over the coming days for mixed doubles.
Yeah, a lot of great games to come. So.
Big congratulations to Team Williams and to Team Johns over the two disciplines this week, and good luck against the world.
And good luck to all the mixed doubles players in the event to come.
Very good.
All right. Bye-bye.